Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Mandeep. It's Friday, December the 28th, and this is a live recording um, during the market hours, right? So, just wanted to share a couple things with you. So, the first thing we're going to look at is the breadth of the market, right? So, this is one of the key things that I look during the trading day. So, you can see on the NYSE, for every one stock down, one and a half are up, right? And likewise in the Nasdaq, for every one stock down, about 1.4 are up, right? So when the ratio is less than two, it's typically mean the market is neutral, right? This market thrust that you can see is essentially calculated by looking at like four market variables. So it's the number of advancing issues, the number of declining issues, the up volume, and the low volume. So when more issues are advancing, this thrust is positive, and likewise when more volume is flowing into issues that are advancing, the thrust will be positive, right? And finally, just a quick look at the S&P 100 list, right? So what you see here is the break of the opening range breakout, right? So this you can see it's the between those two yellow lines, right? So that is what the range was established in the first 30 minutes. And I've talked about this in a number of other videos. When majority of the stocks will end up staying, 60-70% of the stocks trade inside whatever range gets formed in the first 30 minutes, but you need to start paying attention to the ones that begin to break out, right? And so what is the common theme here? You see Eli Lilly, you see Bristol Myers, and you see Amgen, correct? And that just means that there's clearly interest in the big pharma stocks today. So that's a good thing. So all of this entire list, right, was actually either zero or negative one, right? When it is zero, it means it's trading inside the orb. And when it is negative one, which means all of these are like below the orb. So we can take a look at a couple examples here. Unfortunately, when I'm running the screen recorder, this system gets a little slow, but I just want to give you a little flavor of how to read the market during uh, the normal hours. So you can see here we broke the orb, and that's why it's negative one. Anyway, this trade was actually initiated here using uh, 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 using an indicator that I've written called the MSB Ultimate Indicator. And obviously this trade was profitable, 89.92. And even if you didn't like close it right at the top, you still made like, a couple bucks out of this, right? And so what is the action I'm taking? I'm long Bristol Myers common stock today. And this is mainly because of the fact that it's broken the orb and clearly there's interest in the pharma stocks. I'm also long a little bit of Amazon here. And I've also gotten some calls on Berkshire. Those are out to December. Right. So one of the other things you can see is the dynamics of the market is now changing. Right. We are instead of starting off the day where the market started to fall. Let's take a look at the market internals, and that'll give you a quick clue here. So you can see the market internals are getting better. When we started, it was 1 to 1.25 or 1.3. Now it's 1 to 1.5. So that's improving. So here you're looking at the up volume versus down volume, right? How much volume is flowing into issues that are advancing. And about half an hour ago, it was 50-50. Now you see more issues, more up volume. So that's a positive sign. And the other thing is here is the tick chart, right? And the histogram here accumulates the ticks. And this is actually, yesterday was, for most part of the day was negative, it turned positive, and today it hasn't gone negative at all. This is actually flowing in the positive direction. And last but not the least, let's take a quick look at the ES futures market. So these two pink lines are the overnight high and the overnight low, right? And I actually always plot them. The green line is yesterday's high, regular trading high, and this is the regular trading low. So as the market started, right, one of the things I noticed, we started the market here, and it never took out the overnight high. It started to fall, and I actually got a little bit long on the S&P here, the SPY calls, but I didn't take them off, right? Even though it was running a little bit negative because of the fact that as we hit the overnight low, guess what? It stopped, right? Of course, it overshot a little bit, but you got to be a little patient. You want to see the entire body of the candle to actually close below the pink line, which is the overnight low. It didn't happen. And so the market slowly started to turn around. And I was also looking at the tape reader, which I'll cover in another session. Things started to move back in the positive side. So it was still not, I wouldn't say still out of the woods. So one of the other things you now notice, it's actually struggling a little bit at yesterday's regular trading high, right? Which is this line. This is where we closed, which is the high point. And if we take that out, that's going to be even more positive for the market. And my next point of resistance then is 25.20. That's all I wanted to cover. And I'll do some more videos to during the the live trading hours, so you get a feel of what's going on.